Welcome in the Eric Zane Show podcast. Daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from right here in the Impact Power Sports Studio. Sumo Sack, where you been? You followed the show not long ago, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of you. Then all of a sudden you're there, but welcome. Who came up with hide nor hair? Oh. I don't know. I am in a exceptionally good mood. An exceptionally good mood today. Despite the fact that during the morning show today, when I was doing my radio show on the almighty Q100, that there was a large amount of dead air, silence to the audience. I was none the wiser. Let me explain to you how this happened. The way this works is here I am, hundreds of miles away from the radio station, which we do not really promote or talk about during the radio show. It's the only way I can do this show. I have to operate from here, and then I hit a button, and it talks to the studio, and then the studio talks to me. And it's a constant dance of handoffs. Like when I want to take a commercial break. All right, we'll be back after this. And I hit a button, and I hand it off to Grayling, where the station is. And then Grayling plays the commercials, and then Grayling, through automation, hands it back to me. Let's avoid all the questions as to why we do it this way, but it's the way that it's done, and it's perfect. Unless this happens. There's a little piece of the automation, an element that has to be loaded into their software that sends it back to me so that I'm in charge and I can play the music and my microphone goes out over the air and all that stuff. The second I hand it back to them, nothing on my end works. So when the commercials are done, it sends it back to me. It gives me a little notification, Zane Live, and then I do my thing. Start the hour, play like music. Like we come out of commercials, I play a music bed. I'm like, hey, welcome to hour 3 of the Insane Asylum. We're just starting out 8 a.m. Here we go. Here's so-and-so. That's it. At 9 a.m., that happened. And I started my music bed, and it's building, and I've got the momentum, and I'm firing off a couple of jokes here and there, and, I'm going to talk for 30, 40 seconds, and then, boom, I'm going to go into a Beatles song called Ticket to Ride. And I'm really excited about playing the song, and, it just works beautifully. So after my little talk set up where I'm building up the energy, and boom, I go into the Beatles, and I take off my headphones. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I'm excited. I'm very impressed with myself at the job that I've done. And I'm listening to the song. And I get a text from the boss. And he writes, "What's going on?" Now, I'm in the process of writing back to him. Nothing much. Just having a good time. Loving life. Thanks for asking. And he follows it up with another one. It says, dead air. And then, right then, like 2 or 3 other texts from 2 other members of the radio staff. Hey, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. Oh, my God. I start panicking. Now, what I'm playing in my headphones, it sounds fine. But remember I told you it hands it off. It hasn't handed it back off to me. Now, truth be told, for whatever reason, the handoff didn't happen. God knows why. It wasn't incorporated into the software. I have no idea. All I know is that I've got dead air for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There's nothing on the radio. So all of my little thing where I was talking over the music and, you know, the instrumental music and saying, all right, here we go. It's a 9 a.m. hour. Boom, let's play the Beatles. None of that went over the air. It was just silence. So what did I do? Once we got back on the air, I'm like, oh, God, this is embarrassing. It's just terrible. Again, this is nightmare fuel for me. This is the stuff that I have never been able to distance myself from the nightmare of on the air, but nothing's happening. Dead air. All these years. Even, I mean, it had been years that I had been away from actually doing a music-oriented radio show. Okay? And I still, even up to when I started this job, was having those nightmares. So now I'm back to actually doing this job. I'm pretty much resigned to having these horrible nightmares where I'm in a radio studio and nothing works and it's all weird and crazy and I wake up panicked. So, goddamn, that was bad. So then I cracked the mic and I made up a story that the nice lady who brings her dog to work, Louie, was playing with one of his dog toys. And he was roughhousing so much that he accidentally hit a piece of equipment and knocked us off the air. You know, I hammed it up, made it more elaborate than it was. I think it got over because I had people reach out to me and said, oh, my God. I can't believe Louie did that. Speaking of dogs, I see our beloved Darla is getting some attention today. Excuse me, that's my coffee. I got to get that in me. And a lot of other things in me. God. Amy says you blamed the innocent dog. Oh, yeah, it's a dog. That's what you do. It's kind of like when you fart, you say the dog did it. Kenny says, I assumed it was Darla. Well, don't forget, to the audience, I'm in Grayling. I don't want to say my dogs did it because they'll be like, what, you bring your dogs to work? Now, hopefully, they don't know of the podcast. As you know, I lead a double life here on the almighty Q100 and the Eric Zane Show podcast. I finally got the information as to why, when you're listening on the app, it does not show you what song I'm playing. It shows you like a song from like some time ago. What is the reason why is because when they are in the studio playing the music in Grayling, then the app will update every time there's a new song on. But when I'm in control of it, here, it does not do that. Username says, wait, you're not in Traverse City? No, come on now. You knew that. I don't know when you guys are screwing with me or you're not screwing with me. Ryan says, Kenny, that's your reason. You can file your complaints directly at Big Fraud now. No, you can't complain to me. It's not my fault that the setup, it's not equipped for that. They haven't yet figured that out. But I know that won't stop Kenny from repeating that complaint 8 million times because that's kind of in his wheelhouse. That is what makes Kenny the pure Kenny experience. Kenny says he never complained. Well, now you're lying. That is a lie. You absolutely complained. Are you telling all these people that... Are you lying to all these people? You are. You're actually lying to my abundant number of 33 other viewers. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of all the other people in here. You absolutely did complain. And who, by the way, digs their heels in and says, I never complained? Who cares that you did? So now we can add this title to Kenny. Liar. We already have him down as things we can refer to Kenny as: pussy, baby, annoying. Now we can add liar to it. Okay, I need to get into this thing about Elisa Jordana. You don't know who that is. I had never heard of her too. Actually, when I saw this footage that I'm about to show you, I was like, why do I know that name? And then I'm like, no, I know who that is. That is a friend of Karl's from Who Are These Podcasts. I don't know if it's a friend. It's a person he's had on his show before. She used to work on the Stern Show as a writer. And now she is an IRL streamer, which is she streams huge swaths of hours of her day live for the world to see. So she'll be walking around, going to the store, and she's got her own camera on her. She's walking around with a camera like attached to her. And then if she has any interactions with people, that happens. There's been a few interesting moments in her life. She was engaged to Andy Dick, supposedly, for a period of time. And I heard her on Karl's show, and she seemed normal to me. She seemed like she was onto something with her content. But this is bonkers. I'm going to share with you something that's quite violent. I'm warning you ahead of time that this is really rough. The guy in the blue shirt is her boyfriend, which right away I had questions when I texted Karl, and he's going to join us in 12 minutes about this because he can explain better what's going on here. She's dating this dude who they look quite mismatched because she's actually quite pretty. And he's kind of like, every guy. And she batters him. It's ugly. And then he snaps. So this isn't great. I will say, I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie to you. When she slugs him, I did smile at first. I laughed. I was like, oh no. It was one of those smiles like, oh no. Oh. The background is, I guess she's dating this guy. Karl seems to indicate that the guy is very wealthy and he just pays her to hang out with her? Be a girlfriend? I don't know. She finds out that he's cheating on her. Despite that, they're in the same car together. She's streaming live. What you're about to see happened live. There's an edit point in the video just for time's sake. But this whole show went on for like 2 hours. And in it, she has discovered that dude there, whose name is he goes by the name Scoro, has been cheating on her. So you see part of, and then the way her setup is, audience members can call her while she's walking around the mall and talk to her, and it goes right out for the world. So it's a neat concept, and I can see why it would be something that people would be interested in because of whatever drama might be going on in her life might be interesting. Like, can you imagine if I did a show in real life around here? I mean, all of the hilarity that would ensue and the conversations, but it's just odd because you're always on camera for the world to see. You're streaming your life in huge swaths of time during a day. That's what she does. In this particular moment, she's figured out in real time that he's cheating on her, which that's a whole nother set of questions. Well, in this moment, the girl that is the mistress happens to call in to her while she's live streaming. And Elisa is talking to her. Scoro here tries to say something, and she doesn't like that. Megan says this video is awful. Yeah, I'd like to stress again that first you're going to see her attack him, and then he gets fed up, and he drags her by the hair out of the vehicle. So there, you've been warned. It's not pretty, but you'll also get a great sense of how crazy these two fuckers are. More so her in the crazy department.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Okay, now, even though she's all bubbly and sweet there, that's the mistress calling in, and she says, "Hi, Sarah. How are you?"
Hi, Sarah. How are you? How are you, Sarah?
Okay, so he just kind of takes that. It's not really the end of the world. She slugged him a couple times. By the way, earlier in this, she was outside in the parking lot and of the mall, and there was a cop that happened to witness this. She raised her hand to strike him, and the cop saw it and almost arrested her. Said, if you touch him, I'm going to arrest you. Somehow these two idiots wind up in the car together, and that just happened. Now it gets worse.
Hi. Nudes and, different sentences that he...
Sarah, I'm sorry about this.
Don't talk. Don't fucking talk.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Okay. He says to the mistress on speakerphone, "Sarah, I'm sorry about this," and then she slugs him.
Sarah, I'm sorry about this.
Don't talk. Don't fucking talk.
Idiot.
Yes, Sarah, we're really sorry about this and sending him your way today. So don't worry. But yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so it hurt him, and he's like, "Ow, my nose." Now you'll notice messages pop up on the screen. That's like super chats, people who pay her money.
He's coming. Don't worry, he's coming home.
Elisa. She just almost broke my nose. She's gonna get arrested.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Fuck you, cunt.
He goes, "Fuck you, cunt."
Next time you fucking touch me, I'll fucking deck you.
Next time you touch me, I'll deck you. Again, what a mismatched couple. What a strange set of circumstances this is. Karl speculates that he just pays her.
You understand, cunt? Hey, no, Sarah, hang up. These idiots, she posted your fucking number in her cancer Discord, and I would just be polite. Yeah, touch me and I fucking deck your dumbass bitch. I'll fucking deck you. Test me.
Elisa.
Yes.
As a woman,
the dumb cunt, Sarah, the dumb retard in the middle of the stream session.
Can you please delete my number from the chat?
She's a fucking insane person. She's a fucking.
I would stop talking about
dumb cunt.
Okay, so she was dancing, and then he calls her an insane person, and she starts to get aggressive again after she's dancing. Very strange.
Yeah,
in the middle of the street dancing.
Yeah, Sarah, I heard you had a kid when you were 16. That's what he told me about you.
Yeah, she had
and he
a
said
kid.
you're a dumb Mexican.
I said she's a dumb
And he said you
Mexican.
keep showing up. And he says you won't stop texting him. But I saw the text. It's the same.
Okay, so she's airing dirty laundry about the relationship with the mistress to the actual mistress and to the streaming audience.
Lisa, can you
Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
She's half your age. She's half your age.
delete the number, please?
Okay, then she starts to twist his ear, and then this happens. Now this is really bad. What he's doing here is also not right at all.
Pull over, dumb cunt. Pull over, dumb cunt.
Ow! No, please don't. All right, I'll stop. Okay, I'll stop.
Pull over.
Okay, I will.
Pull over, dumb cunt.
Please don't. No, I'm sorry.
No, call 911, Sarah. Call 911.
No, please. I'm sorry.
By the way, it gets no worse than this.
Call 911.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm so sorry. Please let me go. Babe, please let me go. Ow. No, please, I'm so sorry. Please let me go.
Oh, you're sorry, right? Get the fuck
Okay,
out
I'm
of
getting
here.
out. I'm getting out.
This is happening live on her show Monday.
He's killing me. No. Okay, I'm getting out.
She goes out of the vehicle. That van you see in the background picked her up. She actually got in that van. And that is where that stream ended. Folks posted it and said, who's right, who's wrong, and I didn't even know who that was. And then I went, oh, God, Karl knows who this person is, Elisa Jordana. So I'm going to bring him in here in a minute. He just did a extensive review show of the entire 2-hour live stream that she did. Ashley writes, the hair pull is kind of hot. Oh, fuck. She got arrested. Yeah. She ended up, this is her mugshot. And I'm like, well, why? I think that they both need to be arrested, don't they? I mean, I think that the whole thing was horrible from top to bottom. What a goddamn train wreck this is. Now, she was not right to touch him any one of those times, and I think that he's not right also. He should have just said, oh, can you pull over? I'll just get out of the car. What are you two doing? What a couple of psychopaths. This is absolutely horrible. This happened in Florida. This is her with Andy Dick. This is her with a piece of cake. She posted an apology, I guess. I think she was in jail, got out of jail, and then posted some apology to her fans who watch her. God damn. This is just fucking horrible. I'm curious as to if this woman's on drugs or something. I'm bringing Karl right now to talk about this. Oops.
Eric, you there?
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
Hold on a second. Let me connect my...
You're live, by the way.
Yes, thank you for telling me that. I know it's a felony to not inform me of such things.
Yeah, we try to play by the rules here on the show.
Because I might be going to prison for 5 years.
I didn't know that. Is that what's the latest in outside of this nonsense that we're about to talk about that's going on in the world of Karl?
Yeah, so we called this place called Stevie Tomatoes when we were on my show, The Creep Off, that I do with Vinny Paulino.
Yeah.
And we talked to the manager we were live on YouTube at the time. And I've been informed that is punishable by up to 5 years and a $5,000 fine.
Oh, you didn't do the...
I mean, you're a radio guy. Did you know that, Eric?
Well, I was always told that best practice is to not allow anyone on the air until they agree to do it. But I didn't realize there was some type of crime or punishment or something like that.
So this might be the last time that we get to talk if I'm a free man.
Jesus Christ. When did this one all unfold?
Last week. It's so insane because, and I'm telling you this, obviously, I'm joking, but Stuttering John has been saying this on his show every day for the last week that we committed a felony and we're definitely going to prison. He's been gloating about it.
Yeah, that's a thing. He always just looks for something that can somehow undermine you, and it's really... It never does, and it just turns into something that's fantastic. That must be infuriating for him.
For him?
Yeah, because he's constantly trying to one-up you, but he never does. He always is below you.
He's like Wile E. Coyote. He brings the dynamite with him to get me, and then it blows up on him. He's like, what the fuck? Every time with his dynamite.
Oh, my God. Hey, by the way, do you realize Christian and I have been doing this show for more than 8 months? Who are these broadcasters?
Wow. Has it been that long?
Yeah, it has. That's something. It's just, the time's been flying by. We have a real good time with that show. And it seems to be, well, I'd like to say that it's catching on, but it's not. But that's okay.
Well, you know what? It doesn't do a ton of live viewers, but a ton of people watch it after the fact because it stays up on YouTube. And so we get a lot of people checking it out. Who are these broadcasters?
I'm glad to do it, and he's great fun, and it's all good, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to do it.
Well, I always enjoy the show. I'm always checking on it. And the one thing about Christian, and I've told him this many times, is he does not need to have 8 hours of material for every episode.
Yeah.
But he cannot stop himself.
Yeah, he always throws so much of it away. Yeah, if he had it his way, it'd be like a 4-hour show. I'm like, dude, we gotta be lean and mean here. We gotta too much.
He showed Eclipse clips, which is not easy to say. I think that was 38 minutes of Eclipse clips yesterday. I went, we got to get to some local news here.
That's what I was like. I was like, God damn it, Christian. Okay, enough. But he does most of the heavy lifting for that show. In fact,
he does.
Yeah, and so I just kind of am along for the ride, and he does a great job.
Well, you do a fantastic job, and I didn't realize how good you were at color commentary on arena football.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh God, that team is awesome, man. They're like, yeah, say whatever you want. We don't give a shit. I'm like, okay, if you insist.
I love when they're showing the crowd and there's like hot chicks dancing. You're like, whoa, check out these chicks that have dancing children. You're like, oh, whoops, sorry, my bad.
Perfect. There's not enough of those games. There's only like 4 home games, so I can't. It's like it's a highlight of the year for me to be able to do those. So.
What's wrong with that league that there's one team that dominates so much?
I don't know. It's our team is very good, and all the rest of them are just ridiculous. I don't know why that is. It's so bad.
It's funny. It's fun.
Okay, Karl. So this was weird to me because I don't really follow Elisa Jordana. The only time I had heard her was when she would talk with Drew and Mike, or you would talk to her, and she seemed very like she had her wits about her. Was she just having a bad day, or is something going on there?
No, there's something going on there. And, of course, this clip has been making its way around. Everyone's seen it, where she's a IRL live streamer. That's what she does for a living now.
Yes.
So she just has her phone on her at all times, selfie stick out, just following her around and just talking to the chat and people donating money. And I guess she has this one guy who has given her a lot of money. This guy is his parents are very wealthy.
Squirrel.
And I've heard he's given her up to $200,000 in donations, something like that. Crazy amount of money. And to the point where, what Elisa does, because she lives a wacky life. She used to be on the Howard Stern show. She was dating Benji Bronk, who was the head writer over there.
Yeah.
And so she'd mix things up over there on the Howard Stern show. She always wants to be in the middle of things. So she's got this loser, this incel, who's got all this mom and dad money that he's spending on OnlyFans girls and IRL streamers. And she has him move in with her because in her mind, like, the more chaotic, the better. So she has this guy move in with her, and she doesn't like him at all. She states this many times. He's ugly. He's boring, blah, blah, blah. But then she finds out that he's giving money to another hot chick on the internet, and she gets very upset and steals his phone and his wallet and goes on a shopping spree and doxes the other girl in her Discord server, gives out her phone number and her address and all this stuff. So finally got to the point where this incel kid is sitting in the car with her and it's just like, I can't take this anymore. I'm getting my revenge now.
Wow. And we watched that. And I guess that was my first question. What was so strange to me was she's weeping on the live stream. And I'm like, she can't really have feelings for this guy. This has to be some type of act.
Well, so I was on Drew and Mike yesterday. We were going through these video clips, and I'm going back and forth with, I think there is something real there, because I think he was giving her so much money that she needs that guy.
Wow. What a bizarrely sad state of affairs that is.
Pathetic. It's wildly pathetic. And to do that on the internet, I was watching, there's this guy named Critical, who does a pretty good show, and he was breaking down the footage, and what he was saying, it was just spot on. He goes, if I found out that my girlfriend was cheating on me, or if I found out some horrible news that really got me distraught, the last thing I would do was start streaming to the internet. And that's the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a private moment at that point. You don't need to be streaming that.
Part of me thinks that she was acting the whole time just for the stream. And I mean, I guess it's possible. And when she slugged him, she knew that's a crazy moment. That's a if she's all about getting her name out there and doing a show that more people are going to watch, that would do it for sure.
Well, I'm curious if she feels good about this today, because yes, TMZ's covered it, and the New York Post, and every subreddit in the world, it's all over Twitter. So if that was the goal, then mission accomplished. But she looks terrible, and no one is taking her side in this, which is crazy. Watching a woman get her hair pulled the way that she did, you would think 99% of people would see that and go, "Oh, this guy's an animal. What's wrong with this guy?" But people watch this and go, "Yeah, she kind of had that coming."
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat, and I've got people that are just kind of like, I had a comment that was like, "Boy, I hate this," and then another person writes, "She had it coming." I mean, never before have we had such a startling. She might be the only woman who it's a toss-up as to whether or not she deserved to get beaten.
Right, and I mean, I would listen to both sides on this. I think the guy went a little too far. Like, he could have made his point, got out of the car, moved on.
Right.
But he was so pissed at that point, and she was really antagonizing him nonstop. And the smack to the face, that's when you saw his whole demeanor change. He's like, "Uh-oh, okay, now it's real. Now it's on."
I felt so bad when she slugged him in the face because he didn't react. I mean, had he just kept it cool and gotten out of there, maybe, armchair quarterback, maybe not. I have a comment that says, "This is not a toss-up, or not a toss-up. No man should do that shit to any woman ever, period." And I get that. And that's what a lot of people are critical of the guy, Scoro, for doing it. He put himself in the wrong by laying hands on her. But do you think maybe the whole thing could be a setup? Like, he's in on it?
I don't think so. Especially because it ended with her going to jail. You know what I mean? So that would be a pretty elaborate hoax for her to pull off. And I don't know if you saw earlier in that video, so it's almost 2.5 hours long. Right. A lot to get through. But earlier in that video, there's a female police officer that the boyfriend is talking to, saying, "Hey, she stole my wallet and my phone."
Yep.
And the police officer witnesses Elisa go after this guy and kind of pretend to punch him.
Yeah, I did see that. She almost like instinctively put her arm up, and then the cop was like, hold on.
And the police officer told her very directly, "You do not touch him. I will take you to jail." And the guy, the simp guy, is going, no, it's okay, it's okay. She's like, "No, it's not okay. You're going to jail if I see you strike this man." So then they get in the car and she just starts beating him. She punches him in the dick. She's pulling on his ear, smashes him in the face. Like, I understand if you just watch the end of it and you see what this guy did, you go, that's unacceptable behavior. That's a woman that you're doing that to. But goddamn, she was antagonizing that. She wanted that to happen, it seemed like.
When you, how did you get to know Elisa?
Well, she had Stuttering John on her show. And actually, Stuttering John, it's funny, John connects me to a lot of these people.
I remember this because he wanted to do what she does, and there was supposed to be a meeting or something between John and her, and he fucked it all up.
Yeah, well, so even before that, she used to do a show called Kermit and Friends, and John would go on that show, and then one time John said, "I'll only go on the show if you have dinner with me," because John was trying to sleep with her.
Okay.
And so she agreed. They went out to dinner, but she brought an entourage of people. That really pissed John off because he thought he was going on a date, and he shows up. But yes, more recently, John was in his home in Florida. She drove like 2.5, 3 hours to go meet him to show him how to do IRL streaming, which I think would be great for Stuttering John. We'd all be tuned in to watch his day-to-day activities and watch him get drunk at the bar. But she walks in, and the way that she does it is very obnoxious. People donate money, and it starts playing music, and it's loud, and she walks in with her friend, and they're walking to a bar, and it's just like blaring music, and they're just making noise.
Yeah.
So John was embarrassed by that, and he took her outside and said, "No, we're not doing this here." And she was supposed to spend the night at his house, but then he threatened to call the cops on her. It's crazy what's going on with this.
Yeah, this life.
Woman. Yeah.
So when you got her on the show, it was just to talk about John and do this, that, and the other thing. It's not like you have a relationship with her more other than just having her on the show.
Correct. I've had her on the show a couple of times, mostly to talk about Stuttering John. But it's crazy because of the connection with the Drew and Mike show, too, because she was dating Andy Dick. They were engaged.
Wow.
And this went on for maybe 2 years, where she was hanging out with Andy Dick, claiming that they were engaged. Meanwhile, Andy Dick's a gay man, and she doesn't like sex. So that was the reason why that relationship was working in any way.
Jesus Christ. And I know that Drew and Mike would talk to Andy Dick from time to time, so that's the connection there.
Yeah, they actually, Andy's been on the Drew and Mike show many times. I think it's been a little while. I don't think he's doing all that well right now.
Right.
But, yeah, so then when she was rocking around and doing IRL streaming with him and claiming they were engaged and stuff, then that's how she got on their radar.
God damn, So, do you reach out to her? Do you want her on the show? Is that something that would happen if you had the opportunity? That would be a big get, wouldn't it? That
would be a huge get. I'm sure everyone's trying to get her on their shows right now. So yeah, I'll reach out, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be pretty low on the list.
Oh God damn, that was an ugly thing. So now I noticed she is out of jail and she posted an apology. You probably saw that.
I have not. Tell me, what's the latest? I haven't looked this morning.
Yeah, it went down the road of this is not me. This is not who I am. I am so sorry to my fans. She didn't apologize to the dude.
Of course not.
She just basically, everybody who witnessed that ugliness, she was like apologizing for that.
So she's embarrassed.
Yeah, that's exactly what she is. She's embarrassed by all of that.
And she should be.
You know, it was crazy in that video because when he finally snapped and grabbed her by the hair, he was insulting her and he called her like a crazy person. She was dancing in the car seat. She's dancing. Correct. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he said, "You're crazy," she flipped the switch. She's like, "Oh my God." She like all of a sudden got super pissed and grabbed his fucking ear.
Yes.
So strange. Goddamn.
Well, at the same time, when that was going down, the other thing that some people haven't picked up on is the girl that this guy was giving all the money to, the other girl that, she claims was cheating or whatever, she called into the show. So Lisa's talking to her on the phone and telling her how she's going to dox her, she's going to release all of her nudes, and she's going to do all this stuff. And so this, poor simp guy is going, "Hey, don't do that to my other girlfriend. I'm trying to get with her too. Don't do that." So that also definitely triggered him, I think.
So he doesn't have sex with her or anything, right?
No.
Oh, God. Who the fuck does this? Jesus so Christ.
You got to feel bad for this generation coming up, don't you?
Oh, my God.
They don't have real relationships.
No,
they just live on the internet.
This is such a disaster. Hey, what's going on in your life in terms of live shows? I always hear about amazing things that are coming up in your neck and stuff concerning who are these podcasts. I'm always the last person to check in on this shit, but there's got to be something that you're doing that's amazing, right?
Well, thank you for asking. Yes, we have Hackamania is coming up. Hackamania.com is where you can go. We'll be in Las Vegas, May 31st through June 2nd. It's going to be a very fun weekend. We have live comedy shows, live podcasts. I'm doing Who Are These Podcasts? We're doing the Creep Off out there. We got a bunch of other shows that are going to be going on. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Promo code WATP, 20% off your tickets, Hackamania.com in Las Vegas.
That is cool. I'm excited for you.
How do you feel about Vegas? Have you ever get out there?
I have, but I have had many people say to me that the Sphere is something that has to be seen.
Oh, yeah. I got to see who's playing there. I have a friend, Monique, who does a show called Radio Gunk, and I met up with her a couple months ago. She had seen the U2 concert there.
Right. Yeah. That's even just seeing the venue alone, just seeing it is spectacular.
I'm not a U2 fan, but I went and watched the videos people took of that concert, and it looked incredible.
Right. It's like sensory overload. There's like amazing things happening in your brain when you're in there just, fucking total immersion.
It's almost like I'm a VR guy. I love the VR games and stuff like that. It's almost like you have VR glasses on because everywhere you look, there's something going on.
Correct. I've only experienced that once, but I've heard people use that analogy that it's like VR through your eyes.
Right.
So, all right. Hey, buddy, you have a good weekend, and appreciate the time and for you putting a finer point on this crazy shit.
All right, EZ. I hope the insane asylum's going well. I'm hearing good things about that.
Yeah, so far so good. I read that message that you sent me from that listener of yours from Hong Kong. That was exciting.
You're picking some good music over there.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
There you go. That is Karl from Who Are These Podcasts. Always a joy to get him on. Tyler says her saying this is not me is like people who get busted saying the N-word and claim I never say that word. Cole says maybe she is crazy. Oh, big time. What a ugly scenario that is. Patrick says he likes Karl. Apparently there's something going on between Ashley and a person known as username 12989. Is Ashley our very own version of Elisa Jordana? Chris says Ashley is on the hunt. Ryan says, oh, most definitely big fraud. Yeah, I don't think that Ashley is into battering people, but she definitely is to the point. She's definitely, when she wants to say something or show something, it's going to happen, which is why, unfortunately, she is not allowed to be seen on any more Patreon broadcasts. Like, she's not on Patreon, but if she signed up for Patreon, she could watch. But if we did the Zoom for the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, unfortunately, I would have to disable her camera. I know a lot of you pigs don't like that. But, I mean, let's think about this big picture here. You can't just go around and show people your boobies. And I don't know if Elisa Jordana would do that, but I know our very own Ashley would. Amy asks, what if she wore a burqa? No. We will not be able to see Ashley's face, unfortunately. Maybe after a couple of years' time. Ryan writes, Big Fraud News Network is tracking some updates on that story. All right, well, I don't know what you're speaking of. It's me, not you, 1969, refers to your old pal EZ as a prude. Kyle writes, what if she puts a paper bag over her face? The face is not the issue. Yeah, I don't know. There's some type of dynamic going on in the chat. Ashley says she's in love with someone with username 12989. You're in love? Did username 12989 give you a compliment? Like, oh, you seem nice, and that means you're in love? There may be a transaction going on between these two, where username 12989 would be sending Ashley money for naked pictures. I don't know. I'm just venturing a guess. Jimmy writes, can I do a show with Ashley? She can punch me and kick me. I don't know. Dear Meathead happens in 10 minutes. If you have a question for Dad, send it along. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. He would love to hear from you. All right. Sorry about that ugly video. I know that was rough, but just a bizarre set of circumstances. I'm with Kenny, though. If a chick lays hands on you, I don't think, in fact, I'm 100% certain that you don't like punch back unless if she's about to kill you somehow. And his life was not threatened there. That was wrong of him to put hands on her. He shouldn't have been in that situation. He should have gotten the fuck out of there. I don't understand why he did that. Both of those people are so fucked up. So for the record, he was 100% wrong. He should be arrested too, in my opinion. It was just too much. You know, you can't, you just can't do it. Sumo Snack says, well, she was driving the vehicle. I bet that matters in court. Ryan says, I think he should be arrested as well, as do I. I think everybody here agrees that they're both idiots, but she started it. She struck him first. She should go to jail, but he should too. And I don't know, maybe they don't know his real name. Maybe he will eventually be arrested. You know? Patrick writes, if Ronda Rousey lays hands on you, maybe, but not that pathetic woman. No, I wouldn't do it. The only way I would is if, like, you know, she's about to stab me or she's actually bashing my face in and I can't get away. I don't know. Yeah, I think he did too much. Okay. For you folks that are enjoying the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube, it's time to go, unfortunately. If you want the rest of the show, it's on Zoom. Damn it. It's on Twitch, not Zoom. Just download the Twitch app, search Eric Zane Live, and off you go. Or if you're at a desktop or laptop, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Patreon this week, quick preview. It features short fuse free beer. I've established 2 or 3 solid clips of free beer with insecurities on display, getting very, very upset at people in the audience. It's goddamn ugly. And it was chronicled to me that from the person who sent me the link or the tip that free beer lost its shit the other day, that it happens more and more frequently. And his fuse is getting shorter and shorter. And then I listened to the clip that was I was tipped off about, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. He is super aggressive. So I cannot wait to share that with you on Saturday for a Big Fraud Saturday with Ben Glaze at 11 a.m. when we kick off Big Fraud Saturday with Who Are These Free Beers? I already have the title of the episode. Short Fuse Free Beer. That's what we will title that episode, and we'll cover all things free beer and hot wings in another 45-minute to 1-hour show of Who Are These Free Beers. After that, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, all at patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can sign up for 7 days free. You do have to put in a payment form, no big deal, and then cancel it right after so that you don't get charged after the 7 days. If it ends, your 7 days ends, you're like, hey, I still want more. Well, then you can pay for it. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Facebook and Twitch, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Thank you so much. The open and live stream of today's show, brought to you by Green Medicine Shop. And my God, are they getting ready for 420? Shawnee and the crew over there have worked very, very hard to make sure that they celebrate right for 420. The sale starts on Friday the 19th from noon to 3, and then Saturday from 2 to 5. I take it back. All day Friday, all day Saturday, but they'll have vendors on Friday from 12 to 3 and Saturday from 2 to 5. What does that mean? The vendors want you to consume their cannabis. So you walk in and they're going to give you their cannabis, like for free. That's what vendors do, because then you smoke it and you like it you're going to come back the next time and get more of it. That's awesome. There's a lot more going on there. Just go to their website, thegreenmedicineshop.com. They're in Greenville, Michigan. This is a medicinal facility. So you have to have a med card. If you don't, you can get one for $90 through their website. And then you get a $100 in-store credit. So it's free. It's more than free. They actually pay you to get your med card. But you have to get it on their website, thegreenmedicineshop.com. Skip your recreational facility. Go to Green Medicine Shop, because if you're over 18 but under 21, you can't smoke. You can't buy. You have a med card, you can. So get the med card, 18 and over, and go to The Green Medicine Shop in Greenville, Michigan, thegreenmedicineshop.com. King's Room Barbershop. You're invited to go there and get a haircut from King's Room Barbershop. Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street. Wonderful place to get your haircut. Guys get their haircut, and ladies who like to wear their hair short at King's Room Barbershop. Website, kingsroom.net. Hours, exact locations. Haircut will set you back about $19 plus tip. And off you go. Gracie and Alex and Taylor and Deidre, along with Andy, work over, well, I guess they all work at different places, but the ladies over at 821 36th Street are who I see the most. And that would be Alex, Taylor, Deidre, and Gracie. They are so sweet and very, very kind. Okay, my Vouch store, where creators team up with small businesses. You go to vouch.store/Eric Zane. There you can buy the Impact massage weaponry. You can get the Campcraft cocktails, the dog snacks, the dog food, the dog treats, the yak sticks, the dog supplements, the coffee from Split Rock Coffee. Great coffee. Not to mention the toothbrush, TOOF. Get a toothbrush today. Some of you are like, hey, my toothbrush is wearing out. You got to get a new one. Vouch.store/Eric Zane. And last but not least for this round of sponsors, Impact Power Sports. Oh, my God. Wow. They are just awesome. They sponsor my studio here. I talked to Drew over there at Impact today, and he said, EZ, can we get since we sponsor the studio, can we get a sign in the studio? I'll go, yes, of course. How stupid of me not to think about that. That is a great idea. So you'll be seeing their sign in the studio here. It's about time, because I've got some wall space that needs some artwork. You know, I've got some, but I need more. Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. They're in Rockford, Michigan. They're awesome. So we're talking motorcycles, we're talking ATVs, UTVs, side-by-sides, e-bikes. Some of those things are probably the same thing, but it all makes sense. It flows off the tongue. E-bikes, scooters, zero-turn radius mowers. They got all that stuff there. Not to mention Michigan's newest dealer of Yamaha golf carts at Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersports.com. Okay, Dad for Dear Meathead in just a minute. But I'm going to take a quick break and use the boys' room, and I will be back. Kyle Fade. I don't know what Kyle's doing these days. I'm going to run into that fucker one of these days. I think I ran into him at Meyer one time, but I pussed out. I should have called him a fucking idiot. Ask him if he's able to go to hang out by a school yet. Ask him if he asked, hey, do you still have to call the state police when you move? If you see him out in the wild, ask him about that. He'll love that. You wouldn't know him, though. He looks completely different. He weighs like 5,000 pounds. All right, it's time to bring in Dad for Dear Meathead. Okay, I told him I was calling.
You have reached 586-254-3670.
I almost doxed him there. I think I was one number short of a doxing. It always makes me nervous when I call and then, like, no one picks up. I'm scared that something bad has happened. The other day I was, I'll call him back in a second. There was a video on my phone from like 7 years ago. And I don't know if he was into the throes of dementia yet. And in fact, when he first announced that he has dementia, he, you couldn't even tell. I have a video of him when he's using a chainsaw. And I'm like, my God, because I didn't know how to use a chainsaw when I shot the video. And now that I know how to use a chainsaw, I'm watching him use a chainsaw. And there's a whole page of rules that he's breaking. And it just looks so remarkable. It's so remarkably awful how close he's getting to like an absolute catastrophe of like cutting something terrible, like his hand or his face. Then he gets done with it. He turns it off and he goes, "All right, guy," and he's like way energetic. And it's something I haven't seen from him in quite some time.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
For God's sake. This might be it. Might work now.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Well, thank you, honey.
How is
the phone in here?
Yeah, what was it like on your end? What was happening?
I don't know. Joanne come on, started calling back, and you couldn't connect to you.
Oh yeah, I tried it the one time, and I figured that it was it had just gone to the machine, so I figured I'd call back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no big deal.
I was sitting here, and I left, and then the phone rang, and by the time I got here, you hung up, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Hey, it happens. No big deal. No big deal. It's not like it's not like we've got a time limit or anything. We're fine.
No, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Well, I'm excited. I'm here we are. It's April 10th. So we've got about a month and a half until we have yet another adventure up north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're, of course, invited with your lovely Joanne and the whole family, all the dogs. You know how many dogs we got up there?
No.
Well, so you got me, my dogs, that's 4. Okay?
You got 4 dogs?
Yeah, I got 4. And then...
Oh, you... Okay.
And then Shannon has 1. And then...
That's 5.
And then Sam and... what's his name? Jason? Yes.
Yeah.
They have 1 that I know of. And then...
That's 6 dogs.
Yeah, and then Sue has a dog.
7.
And then Stongs have 3.
Holy cow, that's 10 dogs.
10 dogs. We're like overrun with dogs.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that's going to be a hell of a party. Fish fry, bonfire, up all night, bad breath. It's going to be amazing.
Just like what we did before.
Exactly. Where is your lovely and talented Joanne?
Well, she was here a minute ago.
Oh, yeah, we can't do this without her. Are you kidding me?
Oh, well, she's...
Oh, yeah. Hey, how are you?
Hold on a minute. Here she is.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Joanne, how are you?
I'm fine, honey. How are you?
Never better. Never better. I was just making sure you were hanging with us so you could hear the hilarity.
Oh, yeah, I'm hanging with you now.
Okay.
We got a lot going on.
Really? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The neighbor wants to fix the ride-around tractor, and I got to drive it out the street over to his house, and Liz is coming over, and
Wow. Okay.
2 acres of grass I got to mow.
Oh, my
Got a lot going on. Anyway, here's...
Yeah, you are... Dad, Joanne is still mowing the lawn?
Yes.
Yeah, she does.
Now, Joanne, do you like doing that?
Yeah.
Just riding the mower. It's satisfying.
I could drive around on the mower and
Yeah.
lose my...
She's a trucker from way back.
Hey, that's therapy, you know?
allowed to drive the tractor down a side street?
You know, I don't know that.
Might get arrested today.
Yeah. Who knows? Can you imagine if there's a story in the newspaper that 87-year-old lady gets arrested for driving a tractor down the street?
88.
80.
I'm 88.
88. Okay. All right. You don't look it.
Worse.
He's even worse. Oh, my God. Jesus. All right. So that's a big plan, Joanne. Now, Dad, what are you going to do when she's driving the tractor?
He's going to stay home and wait for me.
Oh, no. The house is going to burn down.
It won't take me long. I drive at 40 miles an hour.
Okay. Well, tie him to a chair.
I'm just listening to your all your analogies.
Yes, we got a few.
He'll be walking behind the tractor following me.
Oh, no, that would be something. That would be special. You turn around and he's gone.
So what's going down?
Well, Dad, Cole has a question, and he's in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado, and he says, Dear Meathead, my 16-year-old was very good on his hockey team, and he received an offer to play on a better team, but it's on the other side of the country, and my wife doesn't want him to go. He'll be a junior in high school next year. Should we let him go play on the team and go to a different school and make my wife upset, or make him stay and then he'll be upset?
Well, I really think that you ought to leave kids alone when they're adult enough to make decisions. Let them make the decision. Just give them a little guideline and let them have it.
But so he's 16, and so is that old enough? I mean, he's 16.
Well, if you're around with him.
Well, I don't know that he will. I think the kid's going to it's almost like he's going to college, because he's going across the country to play on another team and finish up school there without his family.
Well, Rob, your dad came from Iran.
I came from Iran.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the way.
All right. Well, I can see why you would say that then. I mean, you were on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when you were 16.
Yeah.
Okay, so let him go. Get out.
Let him learn, do this thing.
Dad, when you left Iran to come to the U.S., were you sad? Because you had to leave your mom?
I don't remember what I was, but I was grateful that I got there. That's all.
You were scared, but you were happy.
I was scared, but I was happy.
Okay. All right. So you ended up I don't know if I would be able to. I can imagine not being able to speak the language and suddenly getting on a boat and traveling half the world away. It seems.
You realize one thing: kids, after a certain amount of years, are grateful to get away from a parent.
Oh yeah, that's true. And plus, Grandma was kind of tough on you.
Really?
Yeah, you came from a town where your dad almost murdered your brother.
Well, not almost. He was murdered.
Yes. Well, no, I'm talking about your brother, not your dad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Jeez, that took a dark turn. All right. Ashley writes.
I'm sorry?
Ashley has a question. She writes, I have a coworker that I fight with over the thermostat. She wants to make it warm. I want to make it cool. But I'm the new girl, and she's higher up the totem pole. What do I do?
Well, listen, if she has an opinion, you got to let her live with that.
Okay, so she wants it to be, really hot in there, so she turns the heat on, and Ashley's, sweating. She's, totally wet. And she wants to turn it down. So she's not so wet, so she's cool.
Well, I don't know. I never had that situation to
Can't they reach a medium?
come up with.
I mean, if she wants it at 80 and Ashley wants it at 70, why can't they put it at 75?
Yeah, she can put a sweater on, and the other one can take a sweater off.
I think she's afraid. I think she's new at the job, and she's afraid of making someone mad.
Joanne says one can put a sweater on, the other one can take off.
Yeah,
Take a sweater off.
they got to figure it out. Okay. All right, dear Meathead, I wanted to invite you to Maine, to the state of Maine, to see the.
Wait. Repeat that again.
Jimmy wants to invite you to visit the state of Maine, to come see him. Have you ever been to Maine, Dad?
No.
We want to go, though.
He says you can bring Eric and a leg of lamb, which is my specialty.
Hey, we're getting lobsters.
We love lobster.
Chris writes, Dear Meathead, I remember when you told us about having to hide under your mom's apron or dress. Do you remember that, Dad?
Yes.
Yes.
In general, were you an obedient or a misbehaving child?
Well, it's really tough to remember that. That's been so many years ago.
I can remember. You misbehaved.
What is it?
You were misbehaving.
Joanne says I was misbehaving.
Oh, okay. So that was a regular thing with you.
Yeah, I guess.
That's why I came to America.
So are you telling me Grandma, when you left, she was like, thank God he's gone, now I can relax?
No, but she was worried for him.
No, she worried me.
She used to pull him home from the bus stop by his ear.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, when I was a young kid growing up, I was old enough to hang out there, and I usually wait till deep hours of night, and then the bus would stop, and I'd get off and come home. She'd be standing there waiting for me.
Did you say the bus would drop you off at night?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a bus going all the time.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like a school bus. It was a bus throughout the city.
Yeah, no. I'd stop at the bus to come home, and there she is. She stands at. This is like 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay. So you thought maybe you could sneak in, and she's there waiting for you.
Well, no, I didn't care.
Okay. She didn't grab you by the ear and beat you or anything, did she?
Oh, yeah, she did that.
Oh, no. My God, why? What did you do wrong? What was wrong with were you like 5 years old going around the town? How old were you when you did this?
I was like 12, 13, or 15 years old. One of the three.
Okay.
Yeah, she grabbed me by the ear, all right.
Oh, my God. Yeah, thank God you got out of there. It sounds like she was a little aggressive.
Well, hey, I was the only.
Well, you were getting home too late at night.
I wasn't be out there that late.
What the hell is a 12-year-old getting home at midnight for off a bus?
Yeah, but the bus is going all the time.
Yeah, I know. You should be like in your pajamas in bed at like 9. Here you are out. You're going to the bar.
That's what she grabbed me by the ear, man.
I'm on her side. If my 12-year-old is out at the bar at midnight on a school night and comes home via the bus, I'm gonna grab somebody.
That was a bar. I don't know what kind of place it was. We were a bunch of friends,
Yeah, just hanging out with your buddies, up to no good. Did you ever break into anybody's house, Dad?
No.
No? How about steal a car? Did you ever do that?
No, just watermelons.
You'd steal watermelons?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
That's not the place that you want to steal stuff at. Iran is, I think that there's really harsh punishment for being a thief.
Well, nobody knew I did that.
Yeah, I know, but still, that's a big risk. If they catch you, they're going to cut your hand off.
I don't.
Well, look, Dad, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm out of questions. Thanks to the audience for sending them along. Is there anything that you guys would like to say to anybody who's listening? Maybe like as we're talking live.
No, the only thing I can say is that's a bunch of great people that you've got circles with, that they call me and talk to me about things.
Yes, I know. I know that they love you, and it's a big highlight of their day to actually hear you guys each week.
Well, thank you so much. I offer my condolences if I have any problem throughout the day.
Your condolences? Did somebody die?
Because sometimes I just say stupid things.
No, it's perfect. I love it. I love the way you say the things that you say. Here we are telling each other that we love each other, and then you said, I offer my condolences.
Well, you know what I mean.
All right. I love you guys.
I love you like a son.
I love you like a son, guy. All right. Okay.
Okay.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye. You know you got a loving family when it takes a while to say goodbye. And he's like, he always gets sheepish and he says the wrong thing. And you might be like, well, that's because of the dementia. No, he's been doing that forever. Forever. That has been a regular thing. Dating back to 2001. The birthday card he sent me. I love you like a son. That's where that comes from. And I called him. I go, what do you mean you love me like a son? Are you trying to tell me something? He says, yeah, I'm trying to tell you I love you. Yeah, I know, but I am your son. I know. I love you like a son. We went round and round on that deal. Ugh. Amy refers to that as a Midwest goodbye. It takes at least 45 minutes. Chris says, I liked when he first came on WBBL. He made like a persona of a crazy wild guy, LOL, and you had to remind him it's okay to just be yourself. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, he was like really talking out of turn and being almost controversial about it. I was like, you don't need to do that. Let's just have a conversation. Something silly is going to happen at some point during that conversation. When the person's real energy is something that people crave, they need to experience that. That's an unbelievable gift. Kyle Ryan writes, thanks, Meathead, for your kind words. You and Joanne are a treasure, and we are grateful we have an opportunity to listen to you. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. There is some controversy about when my dad came here. My father has always said that he came to the U.S. when he was 16. But the math doesn't quite add up. And I've given up trying to explain it to him. According to the math, he came here when he was 21. He was born in 1934. He got here in 1955. That's 21. And I've had a conversation with him before dementia. Dad, what year were you born? 1934. What year did you come to the U.S.? 1955. How old were you when you came here? 16. Okay, so 1934 to 1955 is 21 years. You just told me in one breath that you got here when you were 21, and the next breath you told me 16. I was 16. Yeah, but there was a 21-year space from when you were born to when you set foot on Ellis Island. off of the boat Liberté. I was 16. I went so far twice as to, I went so far as to go to Ellis Island twice and actually get the ship's manifest from the day he arrived in the United States with his name on it and his chicken scratch signature on it, stamped, approved for entrance into the U.S., whatever date, 1955. And it was written, his age. They actually wrote in 21 years old. Dad, so you're telling me born in 34? Yes. Arrived in 55? Yes. Ship's manifest says you were 21. Ship's manifest is dated so-and-so date, 1955. All these clues tell me you were 21. I was 16. And then he starts to get ticked. So then you just give up. You were 16. You went to a school. But I don't think it was a high school. I think it was a Welcome to America school where they kind of like help you get used to living in the U.S. Helping you with the language, shit like that. There was a moment, he told a story about when he crashed a car. He borrowed somebody's car and crashed it and then got out and walked home and left the car there. What the hell? All right. Thank you again to Dad. Thank you to you for participating. Thank you to Tag Accounting, the Tax Hobbit, Troy Ginzer, my man. You've got till the 15th. So today is the 10th. You can still take advantage of Tag Accounting. 616-301-9516. Now, yes, the deadline is the 15th, but if you can still get your taxes done and turn them in after the 15th, the 15th is the earliest you can get them done and not have any penalties or anything like that. You start to get past that, and that's trouble, which is a bummer because I have to drop that $17,000+ and write that check very soon. I've been just looking at the money in my account, just like, fucking shit, because it's going to disappear like very soon in 5 days. Poof, gone. Shit. You're like, easy, how do you go about owing that much? It's a long story. It's a long story. It's based on, I'll tell it. It's based on healthcare.gov. Remember, I explained to you that in order to get healthcare in the U.S. nowadays, if your employer doesn't offer it, you got to get it through healthcare.gov, and the government covers about 2/3 of your premium every month. Good news, bad news here, because if you keep your earning below a certain threshold, you don't have to pay that back. If you go past the threshold, you got to pay it back. Well, good news. Had an excellent year. Sucked a bunch of money out of my retirement to pay for college, which increases the income. And then it's like, oh, God damn it. So those are the rules. I can play by them. Sucks, but it's just money. Anyway, 616-301-9516 for Tag Accounting. Anywhere in the U.S., reach out to Troy, the Tax Hobbit, today and get on his radar like right away. Okay, you got to do this. You can still get this done. No matter where you are in the U.S., you'll end up uploading all of your documents via his online portal, and then he does the rest. Just do what they tell you. 616-301-9516. I'm always thankful for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. No matter where you are in the U.S., get a mortgage from Mario. 231-332-6505. Doesn't matter where you are. Call that number. Say who you are, how you heard about Mario from me, and then off you go. 231-332-6505. Call today to get in on your mortgage. Rick from TC Paintball. Typically, he joins me on Fridays. We're going to move that to a Monday segment. I mean, quite literally, we're going to start the show Monday. You'll hear the theme. I'll say, hey, how are you? And then Rick, right on with me. Mondays is when that's happening. So there you go. Thank you to Rick at TC Paintball. Paintball War number 24. The April aggression happens in 18 days. The 28th of April, that is a Sunday. I want to see you there. Email me, eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliner Striping inbox if you want in on that action. I'm getting texts from Pooh Bear. It's important that I answer because I'm going to get hello with a million question marks. Yes, comma, but I didn't read it, period. I'm podcasting, period. I'll check it later. Yeah, let's just play slap and tickle. My God. Hang on, I need a drink of this. I'm quite parched. All right. I want to get into a little bit more about the sentencing. The sentencing of the Crumbleys. Jennifer Crumbly is the mom. So the kid, Ethan, shot up the school a couple of years ago. Killed 4 kids, injured 7 more. She was sentenced. She has a point here. As fucked up as it seems, she swears to God that the kid was normal. They had no idea he was fucked up. Now, you take one look at him. He looks fucked up. But I don't think that you can... I mean, who knows? Who knows the way it was in their home? Hindsight being what it is, sure, he looks fucked up. They claim they had no idea he was fucked up. They're convicted of manslaughter for making the gun available, not locking it up, and basically just missing all the signs that the kid wanted to shoot up the school. They're going to prison for 10 to 15 years, the mom and dad. They were sentenced just yesterday. I talked about this on the Patreon. But I'm getting more into right now about what she said when she addressed the court. She said, I sit here today to express my deepest sorrow for the families of Hannah, Tate, Madison, and Justin. Those are the deceased. And to all those affected, November 30, 2021, 2.5 years ago. The gravity and weight this has taken on my heart and soul cannot be expressed into words, just as I know there is nothing I can say that is going to ease the pain and suffering of the victims and their families. So far, so good, in my opinion. She adds, as she talked about grief, she writes, I have taken countless nights to lament over the anguish and shame I carry. All right. Knowing what my son did, the harm he caused, innocent lives, the families, and to the entire community. She said, I pray all the victims are the embodiment of God's mercy and peace, and that he heals your broken spirits. She also addressed her controversial testimony, during which she said, I wouldn't have done anything differently. The comment was cited by the jury foreperson in her case and by Oxford High families as callous and showing her lack of remorse. But she is going somewhere with that. She writes, I was horrified to learn that my answer was completely misunderstood, she said, as she sought to explain that her answer was based on what she knew at the time. I bet you she wishes she had actually said that. What I knew at the time makes me say that I would not have done anything differently. Because if during testimony she says, yeah, I would have done it differently, that almost is like admitting guilt. She wrote, my son did seem so normal. This was not something I foresaw, she said of the shooting. With the benefit of hindsight and information I have now, my answer would be drastically different. If I even thought my son was capable of crimes like these, things would have absolutely been different. Her son, she said, blindsided her. He was the son I knew when I woke up on November 30. The Ethan I knew was a good, quiet kid. He loved his pets, his family vacations. My husband and I used to say, we have the perfect kid. I truly believed that. He was 15 when he did what he did. It talks about that. She then laid blame on the school, saying the school failed to alert her about troubling behavior her son had at school on several occasions. And I've said on this show that the school is to blame in part for this. I felt that the Crumbleys were responsible, but I felt that the school was too. And, you know, being that this is what she said, who knows what it was like in the walls of the Crumbly household. It may have been just what she said. To us on the outside, seeing this kid from the only after he's killed people, we're like, well, yeah, he's a fucking wacko. Lock him up. She may be telling the truth there. In fact, I kind of believe her. She probably did believe he was a great kid. The school, she says, failed to alert her about troubling behavior her son had at school on several occasions. And when it did summon her over the drawing, you know, and he drew the day of the shooting, he drew images of kids getting shot. And with the words, the voices in my head won't stop. We were led to believe from school officials and Ethan as well that this was an isolated event. She said, we were never asked to take him home that day. Wow, that's huge. She added, the prosecution keeps saying that we did not, that we were not given the big picture. But she said the school did not give us the full picture. I believe that. She then talked about the impact the shooting had on her life. I am not the same person I was. This tragedy has changed who I am. Oh, absolutely. Your life is over. She said, adding, she's become closer to God. In the quiet hours of myself, I pray to him about the deep impact this tragedy has had on the families and the endless pain no one should have to feel. All right, so far, Jennifer Crumbly said all the right things here. She said she also has learned firsthand not to stereotype people, to presume that bad kids come from bad parents. The prosecution tried to mold us into the type of parents society wants to believe are so horrible only a school or a mass shooter could be bred from. This is a very fatal assumption to have, she said as she defended her family life. My God. Wow. She says, we were good parents. We were the average family. We weren't perfect, but we loved our son and each other tremendously. Everything we strived for was to make sure our son had the best life we could give him, to grow up with traditions and experiences we had. I know we did our best. The love I have for our son mixed with regret for not seeing what was ahead weighs heavily on me. She urged the public to take away this message. This could happen to you. She also talked about forgiveness she has, that she hated the prosecutors but has learned to forgive them for as she sees it trying to slander her and her husband. Now, she says this could happen to you. She then went on to say it could happen to you, and with like your child could make a fatal decision, not just with a gun, but a knife, a vehicle, intentionally or unintentionally. Them leaving the gun out like that at the time was not criminal. You could do that. The law has changed because of this case. You can't have your gun just thrown in a sock drawer if you have kids at your house. You're breaking the law. So there must have been something in the testimony that made the jury believe that they, in fact, were responsible. Because they're going to fucking prison for 10 to 15 years. There had to be something more there. And but she claims that, I don't buy this could be your kid, or this could be happening to you, because if, let's say I had a school-age kid and he or she decided to kill somebody with a knife or a car, that doesn't mean I'm going to get charged. They were charged because of how accessible they made the weapon. Being accessory to the crime because of that. Now, right or wrong? Well, okay, there you go. The jury acts like they got it right. They feel like they got it right, and they were convicted. They'll have a lot of time to think about it. Or is this setting up for a great appeal? For her having to say it like this in their appeal, which will undoubtedly happen. They've already signed over for it. Will this be consistent with what they try to convince a higher court of along the way? For me, I just don't see how they were able to think that the kid was normal. But I have only the information that you have of a fucked up kid after he shot people. How do you not know that? How do you not know that your kid is fucked up? I just can't really grasp it. Kyle says, lock your guns up, you dumb, shitty parent. Kenny writes, so really it's evident they clearly did not do their best, not to mention just leaving guns lying around and all that. I think they're guilty of being ignorant. I think they're guilty of not recognizing that their kids are fucked up, or that the kid is fucked up, Kenny writes, this couple might have done their best, but the kid had mental health issues that were never noticed or addressed or something. I don't understand how. I just don't understand how. Tyler writes, if he was what she considered to be normal, then his behavior when they were called into the school that day should have been extra alarming to her. Great point. Because they had the drawing in that meeting the day of. Kids got the gun in the backpack. They've been made aware of the behavior. It's a meeting between counselor, mom, dad, and kid the gun is in his backpack. The school is not aware of the gun. The parents are aware of the gun. I think that's probably the most negligent moment right there. They have two pieces of key information. They have a gun that is accessible to the kid. They have the kid making drawings that he's going to kill kids. And there's voices in my head, yet they don't take him home. I'll tell you right now, if that was me, I'd be like, uh-oh. I would have looked in the backpack right then and there. My God. And then they ended up going home. And right about the time that the news starts indicating that there is activity at Oxford High School, the fucking idiot goes up and looks in the sock drawer, no gun. Uh-oh. Holy shit. That is so fucked up. All right. That is the end of my discussion about the Crumblies. I think she did her best in her statement. Not the worst thing I've heard. And I mean, she's had a lot of time to think about it. I think that she should still be locked up. And she'll be able to get out, hopefully, and then, live out the rest of her days, probably in her mid-60s. With a 10 to 15-year sentence, with good behavior and parole, I'm sure she'll be out quite a bit sooner than that. And then that's the best of that's the only justice that family's going to get. Ultimately, those poor families. I count my blessings every day that Pooh Bear comes home from the school in one piece. because that is such a very, very real thing these days, and no one has a solution to this issue. But lock your guns up. I firmly believe that. EZ, you have a gun that's not locked up. Correct. I don't have a kid here, but if a kid is in my house, the gun is locked up. Just so everybody's on the same page. Current news to Ashley. Current news to Ashley. Come in, Ashley, with the question, what happened to the kid? Who doesn't know the story of Ethan Crumbly? Oh, my God. Fucking shit. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, fucking fuck you. I love you. What happened to that kid? He's locked up for life, you dumbass. I've probably said it 5 times today. Oh, my God. I don't watch the news. I'm too busy being hilarious. Oh, fuck you. I love you. Fuck off. Suck my dick. Fuck you. Fuck off. I fucking hate you so much. I love you. God. Be more of a ditz. Has anyone ever called you ditzy? You're kind of a ditz. Very murky in your brain sometimes. Kenny writes, the kid needs to know what dying by getting shot feels like. Ashley writes, I'm not ditzy. I build spaceships. You do not build spaceships. Jimmy writes, Ashley would make a great South Park character. So a ditzy brunette that goes around showing her titties to everyone. Okay, if you insist. All right, this made me sad. The New York Post was able to catch a glimpse of one of the greatest senior members of the acting community that exists today, Gene Hackman. Oh, my God. Have you ever seen Gene Hackman in Mississippi Burning? I gotta bust out one scene in particular that always catches my eye whenever I see it. I gotta watch the whole thing beginning to end. What I remember about this film is he's an FBI investigator investigating the murder of some civil rights workers in Mississippi who were there trying to get registered black people to vote. It's a true story of their death. And the film is his investigation, his character's investigation. In this scene, he walks into a local bar where the rednecks are drinking. You recognize a lot of the characters in this scene from other movies. In particular, the one guy that Gene Hackman, puts his hands on is the guy from Walking Dead who cut his hand off when he was handcuffed. And he's also played the part of the blue guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know his fucking name. Let's watch that scene to give you an idea of the acting chops of Gene Hackman.
I swear to God, Lester, you
So the hillbillies are drinking and having a good time. And Gene walks in, his character, and wants to have a word.
What I was trying to say, there's this colored boy. He wants to play football for Bear Bryant over at Alabama. So Bear says, I'm going to give you a try. Calls up the newspaper. What's it going to run with, a watermelon?
So all these racists are dropping all these racist jokes.
He's going to keep on running, too. He says, okay, boy, says, you get down there on one goal line. He puts a whole other team on the other goal line. The whole other team, he throws the boy the ball, and he says,
Okay, so they all know that Gene Hackman's character is there to find out what happened. He's investigating. They don't want to talk to him. They don't like him. He's a Yankee.
Are you open? You have to be a member to drink here.
member? A member of what?
Member of the social club.
Oh, I thought you'd just buy me a beer.
Give him a beer, Frank.
Nice to be back in the dry county again. When I was sheriff, about half of my take-home pay was from collecting taxes on illegal jukes like this. Probably works the same here. You know, I would think you'd haul in a tidy penny here, winking at the bootleggers.
I don't know nothing about that.
Thank you. Yeah, tidy penny. You got anything stronger than this, deputy?
No, we ain't.
Oh? You know, in Thornton, Mississippi, there's a joy juice still in every yard. Yeah, well, all you need is just some corn and sugar and a pot to boil it in. I tried to take the fingerprints of this old boy one time, and he'd had his hand in the mash barrel all his life. You know, well, there's no skin at all on there. There's no prints.
We ain't too interested in your good old Mississippi boy stories, Anderson. You ain't from here no more. Why'd you leave, anyway?
I just wanted to change the scenery. You know, the grit started leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, if that's how you feel about it, Mr. FBI man, why don't you drink up that beer and get the hell on out of here and back to your commie nigger-loving bosses up north?
Oh, you must not know my boss, Mr. Hoover. He's not too fond of commies. He'd be on your side there.
I don't give two shits whose side your Mr. Hoover's on, boy. All I know is we got 5,000 niggers in this county who ain't registered a vote yet. And as far as I'm concerned, they never will. So you can tell your stiff suits up there in Washington, D.C. that they ain't gonna change us one bit. Unless it's over my dead body. Or a lot of dead niggers.
You'd kill Frank? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't give it no more thought than wringing a cat's neck. And there ain't a court in Mississippi that'd convict me for it.
How about you, deputy? How you with wringing necks, huh?
Just keep pushing me, Hoover boy.
Get this straight, you corno fucker. You tell your queer-ass nigger bosses up north they ain't never gonna find them civil rightsers down here. So you might as well pack up your bags and head your ass on back up north where you belong. Boy, go!
And you get this straight, shit kicker. Don't you go mistaking me for some whole other body. You got your brains in your dick if you think we're just gonna fade away. We're gonna be here till this thing's finished. How about you, deputy? Is that gun just for show? Or do you get to shoot people once in a while? Thanks for the beer.
Thanks for the beer. Oh, fucking shit. Okay. That whole scene, top to bottom, was fucking perfect. Fantastic. What? Every single character in that scene, even the ones that didn't even talk, their glances were perfect. My God. Dude, if you have not seen that film, rent that motherfucker. Jesus. Oh my God. That is spectacular. He's retired from acting some time ago. He said, I'm too old for this shit. Gene Hackman is living his best life, and he's 94 years old. And the New York Post got their hands on, somebody saw Gene out. He drove to the fucking liquor store to get a pack of smokes and a coffee or whatever. And they made a big deal because they shot a video of him a couple weeks before that, and he was wearing the same clothes. So look at this. These assholes shoot video of a 94-year-old man unknowing, and he is not aware that he's being videoed. He's got a pack of smokes. He's got his coffee. He's going to go to his car and drive home and have a nice day. Someone shoots video of him, and they write, French Connection legend Gene Hackman gets dragged by tabloids for looking scruffy in public. Yeah, the New York Post posted this. Gene Hackman, 94, spotted out wearing nearly identical outfit from weeks earlier. So this is a news story. Yeah, he's an old timer. What do you want? Fucking 94. I hope I'm moving that well at 94. I hope I can go get a pack of smokes and coffee and drive to the fucking store when I'm 94. No big deal. See him step down from that curb? The NFK can't do that. By the way, he doesn't look anything like Gene Hackman anymore. That, to me, is the only thing about it. How age changes your face. That's it. They did a goddamn news story about a man who's aging, who happened to wear this. I do that every fucking day. I wear the same clothes. That's me now. I don't see why this is a big deal. What a crock of shit. That is bullshit to drag a man because he's wearing the same gear. Fuck, I wish I could do that. I mean, I change it up a time, but there are times when I'm okay, I go to bed, I'm wearing this. I put it on the side of my bed. I get up, and then I'm like, I don't want to have to go get another new sweatshirt. I want to wear the same one. I'm so low on the effort. So no way. I am not faulting anybody for doing that. The actor who got his balls squished was Michael Rooker. Yeah, I had no idea. Tyler writes, the New York Post is not really as quality a publication as the Big Fraud News Network. You wouldn't catch them reporting on BFZ's repeat wardrobe choices. Fuck no. They only hit hard news, like stink bug, maybe an easy temper tantrum, dead air on Q100. Real things that people are interested when it comes to this show. And if I do anything that warrants an article, I will direct you to it. It'll be published on the Reddit page, and I'll post it on Facebook. Costco tables. Yeah, that's another big topic. Exposed boobies, the writers at Big Fraud News. Incredible. I'm so thankful that we have our own news network. The fact that this show started, and podcast, Patreon, and then we've built upon that with Cameo, the website, the Facebook page, Big 101.3, the morning show, all the sports teams, now a whole news network. Are you kidding me? This thing is gigantic. It's a juggernaut that just can't be stopped. Adam wrote, waiting on the expose on how you hate us. Well, that's just silly. Sure, I've said it before, but I don't mean that. As Freeber would say, I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, on Saturday, the Big Fraud Saturday, who are these free beers? Short Fuse Free Beer, the title of that show. Freebeer does something when he, and I was tipped off about this, and I've noticed it too. When someone criticizes him and writes him, and then he claps back on the air, he does an impression that is supposed to represent anyone who has criticism. And it doesn't matter what the criticism is. It's the same voice he does as an impersonation of them. And it's supposed to represent like a whiny, complaining person. Okay? And he sounds like the old cartoon character Bullwinkle when he does it. He'll go, I can't even do it. He's like, don't you do it? And that's his, he's really pissed. That's his go-to voice when he's doing an impression of an audience member of theirs that doesn't like something on the show and tells him about it. So I can't wait to play that for you. It's going to be awesome. Tyler says Simonson does something similar, but with a shitty Brooklyn accent. Yeah, everybody's got a Brooklyn accent. He can be, it doesn't matter who he's doing an impression of. It's always, hey, yo, hey, yo. He can be doing an impression of Pope Francis. And he'd go, hey, yo, hey, huge, yo. I've heard that too. I'm like, is everyone, huh? What's going on there? Well, anyway. My vote for asshole of the day is New York Post. Unless if you have someone different. Hang on, I dropped my dry erase marker. Fucking shit. God, I'm fat. Before I get to the asshole of the day, though, thank you to Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. If you are without health insurance, the only way to get health insurance is through the marketplace. I suggest reaching out to Frank Fuss. He is a licensed independent insurance agent / broker. You can reach him through his website, buyinsurancehere.com, B-U-Y, insurancehere.com. A&E Heating and Cooling, Joe Martinez. Get your AC checked. 616-516-8579. 616-516-8579. Cost you $79 to get your AC tuned up, getting it ready for this year. All right? Have these guys take the worry out of whether or not your AC is going to be in tip-top condition for the cooling months of the year. If you don't have it tuned up, it's going to work harder for longer to cool your home, costing you more energy cost to cool your home, and the AC works harder, which shortens the life. This is all what happens when you don't maintain your AC unit. They'll do it for you for $79. 616-516-8579. Last but not least, if you ever have any issues with your car and you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, reach out to Irvine's. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, one of the many longtime sponsors of this show. 616-532-6600. Their website is ervines.com. That's ervines.com. Are we having a car show this year, young lady? That's one of my favorite things is the car show. Maureen indicates she is talking with my pal Frank Fuss today. I don't know. Are you thinking about hanging it up? Retiring? He helps you make sure that all your ducks are in a row when it comes to retirement. Social Security, Medicare. He's just awesome. Tell him I said hi. And, yeah, he's just fantastic. Thank you, Maureen, for reaching out to him. I appreciate that very much. All right. Yesterday, our asshole of the day was Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Maureen says, nope, for my son, Obamacare. Gotcha. Yeah, our asshole of the day today, I tipped you off. It is a New York Post for dragging a goddamn legend, Gene Hackman. What the fuck? Congrats, New York Post. And thank you, folks, for joining me here today. I'll check you out on Patreon. I have a very interesting story to share with you. It is gossip. And that's all I can say. I don't want to say anything during the free podcast. It's gossip, and you're going to love it. Thank you. Bye-bye.